So, my sister called me about a month before her wedding, distraught, telling me that my boyfriend had spoke to her fiancé about how he planned to propose to me at the reception for their wedding, but wanted to give me a heads up that it would be happening. Her fiancé obviously said not to do that, and then later told my sister about the conversation. So, sister decided to scream cry to me about it on the phone, and told me that if I didn't stop him from doing it, she would never speak to me again. Which I thought was harsh because I can't control him. I told her I would speak to him about it though, and hopefully he'd listen to that. I had several long conversations about it with my boyfriend, who was at first flat out denying he ever planned on doing that, or that the conversation with my sister's fiancé ever took place. Apparently, because he wanted the proposal to be a surprise. Then he said he floated the idea by soon-to-be brother-in-law, then changed his mind. So I said, great, we're on the same page. It's not that I don't want to get engaged to you, but wedding reception is just not the right time to do it. Fast forward to the wedding, which was the 7th of March, literally days before everything in our area started locking down due to the recent events. It wasn't during the time we were all told to lock down. Anyway, the ceremony went great and the reception was going well. And at some point during the night, I went outside to get some fresh air, and my boyfriend followed me out. Well, in not his brightest of moments, he decided to propose to me. I immediately shut him down as soon as he went on one knee. Unfortunately, one of our aunts happened to be outside as well and saw him. She came over squealing and congratulating us as I tried to tell her we're not engaged. But she basically said there's no use hiding it when she's seen it. She went inside and started telling people that we'd gotten engaged in the garden. While she's doing that, boyfriend and I are having an argument outside still, when my sister came charging out, screaming at the top of her lungs. How could I do this to her? She never wants to see me again. Leave her ducking wedding and slapping at the both of us hysterically while I tried to tell her I told him no, we're not getting married. I'm so sorry this happened. Well, basically, her new husband had to come out and tear her away from us because she kept hitting us. She's tiny, we weren't hurt, it was flailing hits. And other family members just telling us we need to leave. We went home. I slept on the couch because I don't want to be near him. Next day, there were a million angry messages and voicemails from my sister and other family members, calling me horrible names, and how could I ruin her day? I tried reaching out to some to say what really happened, but few were willing to listen. So I decided to not reach out to anyone for a while. Boyfriend and I fought all weekend. I was talking about breaking up because he so blatantly disregarded me asking him to not propose there, and him saying he thought it would be fine as long as we weren't in the reception hall taking attention away from the bride and groom. And we wanted to do it while we were dressed up fancy. And then lockdown happened. We live together. I'm working from home and his job is currently suspended. So we've been stuck together for 3 weeks now at home. And honestly, it's helped us. I'm still mad at the stunt he pulled, but he spent the last 3 weeks going and gathering what we need, cleaning everything down, making breakfast, lunch, dinner, bringing me drinks and snacks throughout the day, bringing in the mail and sanitizing everything. I get off my work computer and he goes in to clean it off. We've also just talked about a lot of things in further depth than we ever really have, and it's really making me want to stay with him. He did something stupid, and I hate that he didn't listen to me. But he has apologized and has been doing everything to be a supportive partner during this whole mess. He even reached out to some of my family members to apologize and take the blame. Now, the part I need help with is my sister decided to finally reach out to me this weekend. She'd had time to calm down, and she asked what I'm going to be doing about boyfriend. I apologized again and said I was going to break up with him. But in the last few weeks of lockdown, we've really fixed a lot of things in our relationship, and I think he genuinely regrets what happened. And she lost it on me, saying I'm picking him over her. She was willing to give me another chance after she thought about the fact I can't control him, and didn't want him to do that in the first place. She's now given me the ultimatum. I either break up with him when this whole thing is over, or she's forever cutting me out of her life. I tried to talk to my parents about this, but they said it's her right to decide that and my right to stay with him. They're not cutting me off, but they don't want my boyfriend coming around anymore. I broke down over the whole thing, and boyfriend says he understands and will leave that decision up to me. But that almost makes it worse. He's being understanding, remorseful, helpful, and just a good guy. He's not trying to convince me to stay with him, saying he understands he ducked up and put me in this position. He wouldn't blame me for ending things. He wants to be together, but he's not going to try to sway me by begging. I'm mad he put me in this position at all, but I don't want to lose him or my sister. I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like the end of lockdown is just looming over my head as the deadline I'm going to lose one of them, and I'm not ready. Any advice is appreciated. So everybody told him it was a bad idea, and in poor taste, he did it anyway. Is that the first time he's done that? If it's a pattern, I'd leave. Okay, but he brings her drinks and snacks though. Look at the way the entire thing is written. You talk to him calmly, like you would with an adult, and yet he still did it. He is either too dumb to understand, or he doesn't respect you or your family enough and went on a power play. Your sister talked about how you can't control him. This means that this is not the first time crap like this has happened. Your parents don't want him around anymore. Don't you think that there is more to that reaction than just this incident? Sure, he has been a perfect partner this last 3 weeks, but he has to live with you. He has been smart. He is playing you, and he doesn't have any respect for you. I need to give background because this incident didn't really come out of nowhere, and so it may be a little long. 4 years ago, Brittany and Roger became my new neighbors, and my wife and I have been close friends with them since Brittany knocked on our door, introducing herself with a pie. She's that kind of person. Roger became my best friend, and when I lost my job, he gave me a position at his company. It paid more than my old job, and when my dad was dealing with health issues, Roger gave me an excessive amount of paid time off. I simply cannot stress how much Roger and Brittany have done for us. Last May, Susan and I started trying for children, but it has been very difficult. When Brittany became pregnant, she started saying nasty things to me about her. It really reminded me of high school antics because she would spend a day with Brittany, but as soon as she got home, she's criticizing her clothing, etc. She would complain that Brittany got more attention than her when they were in public. When Brittany was honored at her job, Susan said she would show up to support her, but made me stay at home that day with her. I honestly began to look at my wife differently, but I told her that although our situation is painful, we should be happy for our friends. I asked her if she could try her hardest because Roger and Brittany would be happy for us. On Monday, we were having a barbecue at Roger's, and my wife noticed that Brittany was wearing a new ring. She asked Brittany where she got it from, and she said JCPenney. My wife said there's no way that she got that ring from there, and to be honest, it seemed playful when Brittany told her, from my husband. But Susan actually started to get angry. I also thought Brittany was lying about getting it from JCPenney, but it wasn't a big deal, and if anything, it was rude of my wife to ask. Apparently, Susan had been harassing Brittany via text, and I only found out when Roger messaged me, saying, "You know what? I got it from company name." I told Susan, and she looked on the website so that I can order the ring for her. I said maybe, just to calm her down. We found a similar ring on the site that is literally $250,000. Susan lost it and threw her phone at the wall, causing it to break. We got into a fight because of that, and I left to stay in a hotel. Honestly, her behavior had been getting out of hand. More happened, but this is getting way too long already. I blocked her number because she wouldn't stop texting, calling me. I planned on speaking to her in the morning when we both calmed down, but I woke up to an email that stated Brittany and Roger must be involved in D to afford. Never mind Roger owning a successful company and being essentially a trust fund baby. It was a very formal email with screenshots of the website and similar ring for proof. She mentioned how Brittany and Roger were flaunting their wealth. Never mind that if Roger hadn't told me about his inheritance while drunk a few years ago, and knowing he owned the company I work at, I wouldn't know they were wealthy at all. We are literally neighbors in the same upper-middle-class neighborhood, and they only own Hondas. Worst is that she accused Brittany of not being able to be a fit parent because of her childhood abuse. I didn't know that Brittany was abused, and she shouldn't have mentioned that. The entire email was disgusting. And oh yeah, she copied all of our mutual friends with Brittany and Roger, and she even copied them. Since then, I haven't been able to get in contact with any of my friends. I've apologized to all of them for my wife's behavior, and I tried to talk to Roger in person, but he said he was busy. Today at work, I was scheduled for a meeting with a supervisor. I tried to ask what it was about, but she didn't respond to my email. I could be overreacting, but I feel like it has something to do with what happened this week. I tried to get Susan to apologize, but of course, she's the victim in this situation. She said she would attend marriage counseling with me, but I'm at my wit's end. My personal and professional life is in shreds right now, and I don't know what to do. This is divorce-worthy in my opinion. Not only did your wife ruin your friendships with these people, her actions are risking your livelihood. At the very least, your wife needs some professional help because what she did was ducked up. But I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to see a divorce lawyer about this. Edit. To be honest, my wife is a narcissist. I found this out shortly after we got married because she hid it from me while we were dating. There were signs that I ignored, but nothing that would make me think she was like this. Her siblings say that she's been like this her entire life, and they thought she had changed when she got with me. Instead, she was just hiding herself. I wish it was something that could be treated easily. She is so selfish, and I've been afraid of divorce. Just afraid of feeling like a failure. It's getting hard to deal with her. I don't even know if she loves me. If she loved me, how could she do this to me? Everyone copied was mainly my friend, so I'm the one who really is about to lose everything. My life sucked really hard, to put it mildly. To elaborate, my mom had me while she was still in college, and for this reason, she hated me. I apparently made her life harder. She always made it a point to show how much she didn't care about me, like ignoring me on purpose, saying how she wished she could turn back time and get rid of me, and other hateful things among that caliber. She even hit me a few times when I was a bit older, like 7+, because I made life hard for her. I never told anyone, and when I did, no one would believe me, because my mom was such an angel to all my family. If you're wondering what my father was doing, he's dead. My mother cheated on him when I was about 4, and it broke him so badly he took his life. He thought my mom was one of the few people that cared for him, so it hurt him a lot. When she married my stepfather when I was 9, he enabled her behavior, and my life became even worse. Even more so when my half-sister was born. They spoiled her like crap, gave her so many great gifts, praising her and bragging about her to others, whereas I just fell into a shadow. She got so much on her birthday, a cake, presents, money, etc. Whereas the most I got was a cupcake and like $5. No family cared for me anymore. It really sent my mental health into a spiral. The only one who I really considered family was my aunt, who would fight my mom all the time about treating me better and get me presents. When my mom tried to take those presents and give them to my sister, my aunt fought with her. My half-sister was always a brat, always flaunting how much better she is than me. I slapped her one time, I believe, which led my mom to lock me in my room for the next 3 days, with only 2 meals left at my door. Cause of my life at home, I was quite an antisocial person, and as a result, was picked on a lot through high school. Over those high school years, I became more cruel and twisted. It stopped the negative behavior toward me, but it also made people avoid me altogether. Even after I moved out and cut contact with my family, except my aunt, I could never forget what I had been through. I became a really cynical person, really cruel, and sometimes altogether heartless. I admit this. I was a really terrible person. I've done some things I regret. If I could go back and fix them, I would. My life finally picked up for me when I met my wife and stepdaughter, 14 female at present. They were the only people who didn't view me as some kind of inhumane creature, and they helped me through my depression. I finally took the courage to see a therapist, and I've improved since. My life went to crap again when my wife died in a car crash, on her 33rd birthday no less, and I contemplated S. I didn't, however, for my stepdaughter, as I'm the only family she has left. Her father is gone, and her mother's family didn't want anything to do with her. and I had legally adopted her my stepdaughter. Present day, I'm picking up my life again. Just a few days ago, I received a call from someone who I never expected to hear from, my half-sister. She told me that Mom is dying, she has cancer, and that she might not be able to live much longer. I told her to send Mom my condolences. My sister told me that Mom wants to see me one last time, and she wants to apologize for everything. I couldn't bear to face her again, honestly. She hurt me, put me through hell, and I honestly, as cruel as this sounds, couldn't give a damn if she was dead. I told my sister that I'm not going to do that Mom had a lot of time to apologize, and had Mom apologized a long time ago, I may have considered visiting her. My sister began crying and begging me to come. I remained adamant on not coming. She hung up. Not even an hour later, she shows up and throws herself at my feet and begs me to come. I ask how she knew where I lived. Apparently, she knew a friend of mine on Facebook, and that friend gave my number and address. I said, "No, I'm not coming. Please leave." She looked at crying, while still pretty angry, and said, "Why are you acting like such a heartless monster?" I honestly couldn't think of anything else to say besides, "Because I am a monster," and I slammed the door in her face. I think she was crying there for a few minutes before she left. A load of family members are begging me to come, but I'm adamant on not coming. But now I'm feeling guilty. She's dying, and she wants to see me. I've become tired, guys. I just want to know what to do. Should I see her? Should I at least hear her out and hear what she has to say? Please, help me. You don't owe her anything. Do what you can live with. If that's going to say goodbye and listen to her last words, so be it. If it's protecting the progress you've made and quietly moving on with your life as hers ends, that's okay too. Do whatever it is that is the best decision for you, your heart, and your inner peace.